How many seasons will Arrow run?
We're going to talk about all that and more on this week's DCTV Recap. Hi, I'm Jason Inman.
And I'm Ashley Victoria Robinson.
Welcome to DCTV Recap, the show that talks about all the CW DC TV shows. And yes, we know that they're not on the air, but we're going to build up to them because we're only about like 4 to 5 weeks away from the premiere of all the CW shows, and possibly Black Lightning's going to be joining the show. So a little thing to you guys, a little announcement here. We're going to be doing Arrow reviews separate of DCTV Recap now. So though, when it gets to all the shows hitting their speed, we're going to be doing Flash reviews, Arrow reviews, and then DCTV Recap will capture everybody else.
Yeah, catch all.
All right, so let's talk about Arrow. Executive producer of Arrow, Mark Guggenheim, had an interview recently, Ashley, and in this interview, he was asked the question about how many seasons could Arrow run? And his answer, I'm going to paraphrase it, of course, because I'm not going to quote him directly. He said that he would like to see Arrow run as many seasons as Supernatural.
25 seasons of Arrow.
No, that's more like The Simpsons. But
I think Supernatural's on 12 or 13 this year.
Let's just say too many. I think we can all agree too many seasons of Supernatural. So I thought that was an interesting statement. But the more and more I thought about it, I do think that yes, Arrow. See, because you and I have talked about several times in this show that we think that 7 seasons is the perfect number for Arrow, if not 5. I mean, I would have been sad if the show ended with this last season, but 7 seasons is sort of the perfect number for a TV show. It really is. Like Star Trek Next Generation went 7 seasons. Many other shows don't even go 7 seasons. Once you go past 7 seasons, that's where shows start to become a little weird. Now, let me ask you your question.
Yes.
And let me ask you a question, excuse me.
Please.
How many seasons do you think Arrow should run? Do you still agree with 7?
That's an interesting question because 7 to me is largely the perfect number. Most of the greatest shows cap at 7 seasons, or like you mentioned, their best episodes come in the first 7 seasons.
Yeah.
Originally, I would have been okay if it had only been 5 because we do from the beginning. It is set up to be a 5-season show.
Yep.
I think the last season finale was great. I would have been disappointed, but I would have understood if you would have capped it at 5. I think we're likely going to get 10.
Yes.
10 or 11 before it sort of runs out of steam. But honestly, Arrow could have the possibility to run for 20 years if someone else takes up the mantle. Arrow has a great legacy of characters.
Supporting characters.
Yeah, that could all step up and be the lead of the show because at some point, I mean, maybe because the 2 Supernatural guys are still playing the same role.
Yeah.
But if Stephen Amell wants to step, not even step away, but just step back, then you could have Speedy step up. We could have Connor Hawke introduced. Like, there's room within superhero storytelling for it to be a long-running show.
I would say that as long as Stephen Amell is game, if he's game for being Arrow, I would say keep Arrow going. But I don't know if I want to see it go 10 seasons because here's my thing. Smallville went 10 seasons. Now, Smallville's 10th season, I actually think it's one of its best seasons because it's when it finally, like, you can tell it's wrapping up all the loose ends.
Yeah.
It's really turning into a Superman show. Season 9 for me was the season where it was like, ugh. So for me, I would want to split the difference with Arrow and only make it go 9. At the max, I only want Arrow to go 9 seasons, just to make sure we don't skip in that. And Arrow's already had a couple of...
You're splitting hairs. 9 and 10 are 1 year difference.
But I think it'll make a difference.
It's your opinion. It's fine.
Sure. But also there are plenty of Arrow storylines, Green Arrow storylines out there that would be amazing for them to adapt. Currently, the Rise of Star City that Ben Percy's doing in DC
really
Rebirth.
Good.
They could have Oliver Queen die in between one of the 2 of the seasons, and they could do Kevin Smith's Quiver. That would be a great storyline. They also could do a storyline that Mark Guggenheim has teased several times, the Weapons Clan storyline.
Yes, I was just going to bring that up from the New 52, the early New 52
Yeah, the
stuff.
Jeff Lemire storyline where you find out there's the clan of the sword, the clan of the spear, the clan of the arrow.
I think that would tie in really great, too, with the sort of mysticism and the cult aspects that we already know exist in that world.
Well, let's talk about some other news that's out there. CW released a new promo that was sort of like just for their network. It's one of the ones you see the network stars like kind of sitting around and like posing with CW signs.
Yeah.
In it, they filmed a shot with Mr. Terrific, Echo Kellum himself, running in his costume down a hallway. Now, a lot of people are out there on the internet saying that, why would you film this promo with him if he does not survive the island? So a lot of people are confirming.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look, here's the thing. He was signed, Black Canary actress was signed, and also Wild Dog actor was signed to be in this next season. None of them were killed.
I mean...
So, do you think Mr. Terrific is safe?
I think Mr. Terrific is absolutely safe. Also, of the new recruits, he's been the biggest breakout star. So if you're going to table someone, it's not going to be Echo Kellum's Mr. Terrific.
Also, he's super awesome in the part and super nice in real life.
I also super want him to cross over onto Legends of Tomorrow.
Oh, I think he'd be great on Legends of Tomorrow.
I think he would be wonderful on that show as well.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? You could have the T-Spheres go over there, and Gideon gives him an upgrade.
Yes!
Yeah.
There you go.
All right, let's go to some questions. I put the call out on Twitter at Jawiin to get some questions from you guys about the DCTV stuff. Jonathan Jennings asks, after season 3 of The Flash, how do you think Barry will be able to make himself stronger or faster? Ashley, may I please take this one?
Yeah, sure.
He's gotten faster to beat every single villain every single season because that's basically how he's beaten every villain, just going faster. So I think the answer is yes. All right, let's move on to the next question. Marcus G at Parade Docs Kid says, coming off a very up and down season 3, what, in your opinion, will be necessary for The Flash in season 4 to have one of its best seasons yet? Ashley, okay, so basically the question is, what does Flash need to do to have its best season?
Make Wally West the Flash. That's what you need to do. He's the greatest of all potential Flashes. I honestly think it lies on the villain and it lies on the guest stars.
Okay.
And I think there have been some wonderful speedsters that could be incorporated into the show that would add some interesting elements to it. I think we need a villain, too, who is not a speedster.
Well, everything, all signs point towards the Thinker. Who is this AI computer construct being the villain.
We need something fresh because Flash has basically been redoing the same load of laundry, and now there's no colors left in the clothes. So, yeah, we need, I don't know where that metaphor came from.
I like your metaphor.
I'm really sorry. Yeah, it just needs a bit of a kick in the pants because there's so many good things about the show. That's it.
Is there anything that you personally would like to see from any characters that you think would help bolster that chances?
I want Caitlin to go full evil.
Okay.
I want her to wind up being the first half of the season's villain arc.
Okay.
Because I think Killer Frost is at her most, Caitlin Snow's at her most interesting as Killer Frost, and I think that dynamic brings out interesting things in Cisco and Barry and everyone else who hangs out in Star Labs and pretends to help.
It's very interesting because, again, the trailers show her as being, it seems like, full human.
Yeah, I don't want that.
Yeah.
It might be a lie. That footage might be from one episode, guys. You don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
But that's what I would like to see.
I agree with you. I do think changing the villain is going to help a lot. They're never going to make Wally West the Flash until Grant Gustin wants to leave the show.
I know, but I just love him.
I know. I love Wally West too. I'm a great Wally West fan. To be honest with you, I could see, help me out with the actor's name who plays Wally West.
Keenan Lonsdale.
Keenan Lonsdale. I could see Keenan Lonsdale being game for sticking around and doing the show after Grant Gustin leaves.
I could definitely see that.
You know what? And this would be an easier transition than Arrow even.
Because it's a stronger legacy,
yep.
Yes.
And Wally West has been the Flash in the comic books.
Wally's effectively his partner now, so.
Yes. Also, I think a strong villain, I think you need to have Barry not be such a dick. Yeah. I'm gonna say that. In this third season, Barry, first off, he decided to rewrite time just because.
He was wildly selfish.
He was wildly selfish, also called being a dick. He also, at the same time, there was one episode where Caitlin turned into Killer Frost and Barry was like, I'm gonna run to the future just cause. And they were like, stop time traveling. And he time traveled again.
Yeah.
So I want Barry, because of his time in the Speed Force, because of a time with his Speed Force mommy, I want him to step up to the plate a little bit and become more of the mature Barry Allen that we know from the comic books. I think that with a villain, a great new villain that's not a speedster, will help, I think, make season 4 of The Flash fresh.
I think what we're asking for is a maturity in storytelling. We're asking for everyone to be a little more adult.
Yes, because something that we have not seen on The Flash, that's something that we saw on Arrow very early on, is that season 1 in season 2 of Arrow are very distinctive.
Yes, and they're very distinct Olivers.
Yes, like Oliver grows up, Oliver changes, he's like, I'm not gonna kill anymore. The villain steps up because we get Deathstroke and we get a personal connection. So I wanna see that transition with The Flash because we did not get that with season 2 of The Flash. All season 2 of The Flash did was like, oh, here's Earth 2, and here's a crazy psycho killer mystery villain.
I mean, again. Earth 2 is really cool, but...
I liked Earth 2, but I did not think Zoom was the right step.
I agree.
So,
Deathstroke for Flash, that's what'll fix it.
That's what we need. Yep. All right, there we go. And the final question, Drax is a vampire, at Draxus says, do you think there's a good chance of Constantine being on Arrow or any of the CW shows this season? Hopefully during the 4-way crossover. Ashley, what do you think?
I don't think there's a good chance of him being a regular cast member. I'm sorry to say, I would love it.
He's a busy actor.
He is.
Yeah.
He
does a lot of BBC stuff.
He's got a British show.
He has a BBC show.
I'm so sorry, I don't remember what the name of it is. And, I'm sure it's great. But the best place for him, like Mr. Terrific, I said earlier, is Legends. Legends has the craziest, kookiest stuff, and what Constantine brings to a show, even though he was great on Arrow, and I'd love to see him pop back in for an episode here and there, but is crazy mysticism, and that works best when you're already in a world that we can go hang out with dinosaurs.
You're a good call. I think we do see Constantine this season, and I agree with you. I think we see him on Legends. And now, I am basing this primarily on 2 things. One, Damien Dark is the villain again.
A magic wielder.
A magic wielder as well. So is Gorilla Grodd, and so because they're making the society on Legends of Tomorrow. But the producers during Comic-Con were asked about Constantine during their Legends of Tomorrow panel, and Mark Guggenheim said, "Oh, we love Constantine. We really love Constantine."
If you've ever heard Mark Guggenheim or Andrew Kreisberg say that in the past, it's because the character's going to show up. It's one of their biggest tells.
Yeah. Now, I think it would be a dream for him to be in the 4-way crossover. I have a feeling it's more likely that he's just going to be a one-off in Legends.
I would love him in the crossover, though. I will definitely echo that. I'd also love Black Lightning in the crossover.
Oh, I hope Black Lightning's in that crossover as well. I doubt it because Black Lightning is a mid-season show.
I doubt it as well, but just for a second, it would be so cool.
It would be amazing. So go down in the comments, ask us your favorite DCTV questions. We might answer them next week.
And why not click on one of the videos that's popped up on the screen? And for more exclusive geeky content, go to patreon.com/Jawiin.
We're so close to a new season of DCTV. Stick with us, friends, and we'll see you next week.